All right, so let's get into the conversation that everybody wants to talk about. Ideally, I was supposed to be here to be telling you 12 days to go. That's what I should be doing. But this is what I have to tell you on the show tonight. That the Women's African Cup of Nations has been postponed to July 25th to August 16, 2026. That's the information coming from Africa's football governing body that, of course, the tournament has been postponed. Let's see the information that we've put together around all of that, just to let you know that it has been postponed. It was built to start March 17, but that's not the case anymore. And of course, they've talked about unforeseen circumstances, and of course, the need to ensure that the tournament is held in proper conditions and that it is well competed for, and of course, all of the other issues. So, Bolu, one critical point also is that the host country has not changed.
Well, it's sad, really, from CAF especially. Silence sometimes is not golden. In terms of when there were rumors about, South Africa were fighting between themselves. Minister says this, the other one says this. CAF kept quiet all through. Then suddenly, less than 2 weeks to the tournament, they decided, some things are not right. I knew they would postpone when they started talking about we don't know the venues for knockout games yet. We are trying to move here and there. It just shows to me lack of respect for African football generally, then much lack of respect for the women's game. You cannot postpone the AFCON 2 weeks to the tournament. It's not possible. We've moved AFCON 2-3 times, yes, but it is not weeks to the tournament. Everyone is ready. What happened? The reason Nigeria played the Indomitable Lioness of Cameroon is just like they did the previous one, to prepare for the tournament. 2 weeks, then you decide to move. It means all the plans, the travel plans, logistics, and everything from all the nations would have to change. Why? Because CAF decided to postpone 2 weeks to the tournament. For me, it's embarrassing, but this is what we have, and we have to make do with it.
Quick one, via you to Austin. Quick one. Do you see any possibility of a change with the host country?
That's every possibility. Morocco said they can host the World Cup alone. In fact, they went on to say every nation coming, you don't need to train at the same venue. You can train at different venues. So that same nation that are ready to host the world suddenly can host the Women African Cup of Nations for a reason. I probably think they want to pull out of the tournament. Yes, people are talking about maybe the pain of the AFCON, blah, blah, blah. I don't think so, because they still have more events lined up for them to host. But whatever the reason is for this one, I blame Morocco to an extent, and at the same time I still blame CAF because it's coming just too late. Are they going to refund everyone for the flight tickets they bought already and all the accommodations?
Players already in camp, a lot of things. Also, let me come to you. Again, like I said, I don't like picking things from conspiracy theorists, but some people have said Morocco feels that they are holding a few things. Maybe a few things didn't go according to script, but that's conspiracy theories, and we shouldn't be doing that. But I asked Bolu this, and I'm putting it to you. This is disappointing, yes, but CAF said the host country has not changed. But between now and July, is there any possibility that that can change? Some have also said this is just to buy CAF some time.
I think Morocco and the Confederation of Africa Football, they should have a world press conference and apologize to every lover of women's football in Africa, particularly the participating teams, and say they are sorry for being so unprofessional, for bringing the women's game to disrepute. It's so disappointing, Yemi, because I really just don't understand what's going on. Like, if Morocco feels entitled right after the AFCON, Patrice Motsepe and CAF should have just dealt with this. And they kept quiet for too long again. 31st January 2026, at an award ceremony, the Deputy Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture in South Africa, Peace Mabe, she came out clearly and just announced that South Africa is the new host for the Women's African Cup of Nations. That was the shocker for the world. That was in January. CAF could have just come out and set the record straight because she knew something. Yeah. There was a script playing. South Africa wanted this WAFCON. They wanted to prove a point to Morocco that you can be arrogant to countries who don't have infrastructure, not us. And just 2 days ago, Gaten Mackenzie, the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture in South Africa, still made that bold claim that Morocco, don't mess around. If you don't want to host this competition, tell us and we're going to host it. So there's this bitter politics going on between Morocco and South Africa, and now this has affected the WAFCON. They're going to bring it to July 25th. The Commonwealth Games is July 23rd. So now the audience will be divided. The media will be divided. It's not good for the women's game that we're trying so hard to develop and give some relevance in Africa. Let's go on this quick break. Sports Tonight on Channels Television. When we come back, I'm not letting go of this conversation. Bolo will jump into it. We're trying to understand what's going on with football administration and management in Africa. Don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back, Sports Tonight on your award-winning sports-loving Channels Television. The Confederation of Africa Football, CAF, they've announced that the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, we were expecting it to kick off on the 16th of this month, but it has been postponed to July the 25th, and we're on until August the 16th. What's going on with CAF? Why are they dancing around to clueless beats? What is the problem with Morocco and South Africa? And at the end of the day, it is the women's game that is suffering. Bolu, look, I really don't understand what's going on right now, because I do not see Morocco backing out of this. This is the only ticket to the World Cup, because the qualifiers, the WAFCON will serve as qualifiers to the World Cup. And Morocco will say, if we do not, win this whatever battle they're having with CAF, then they might not just compete at the WAFCON, and that means no World Cup. It seems it's dirty politics, Bolu.
Wow. The politicking is crazy, and it's beyond just words of mouth. Again, this same nation just hosted the Africa Cup of Nations for the men just a few weeks ago. Then suddenly they don't know the venue to host the knockout phase. There's more to what CAF and Patrice Motsepe are not telling us. I wish they can really come out and say the truth about what's going on, because there's no way they can tell me Morocco cannot host. For whatever reason, there's no legit excuse. These guys in the space of 3-4 years have hosted the WAFCON, they've hosted the AFCON, they've hosted on the 17 World Cup, they're planning to host on the 17 Women's, and suddenly something is wrong with this. I think it's beyond the words of mouth. It's beyond what we are seeing. Again, I hope Motsepe will probably summon the courage to tell us what the truth is about. June is almost here. We are patiently waiting. I hope they won't have to move it again and tell us for whatever reason. Like you rightly mentioned, if this was last year, maybe we can understand. This is the World Cup qualifiers. Will CAF set up another qualifiers to choose teams that will go, or choose last year's semi-finals to go for the World Cup? FIFA don't care how you do. FIFA just need you to give us representative, and we are playing around with it. I hope when it's time to play in June, it won't be time when the ladies won't be able to leave their club, because this is a FIFA window. Everyone is prepared to release their players for this period from the March 17th all through the first week in April. Suddenly we are moving to June. Are these clubs going to be ready to release their players in that period? Those are the questions FIFA need to think about. Those are the questions FIFA need to consider before just coming out and say, okay, for whatever reason, we are moving. But again, June is almost here. We'll get to find out what they will end up doing when the time is arrived.
All right, we'll see what happens with that one. We can go on and on the WAFCON. It's just one of the stories you wish it wasn't true, but we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. CAF has a job to do. Hopefully they will be able to do that. All right, let's switch gears now and go on to talk about the Nigeria Premier Football League. Of course, rescheduled game played today. Rivers United. Let me go across the screen, and of course I'm going to ask Bolu a question. As I quickly go to the screen to talk about this game, rescheduled at Rivers United. I mean, just as we thought they were going to do, defeated El Kanemi 3-0. And Bolu, it appears that now they're beginning to have a stranglehold on the league. Well, because they have 2 games in hand. Yeah,
when they played the previous ones, they were away matches. I think they lost 2 and drew 1 of them. Now they are back playing at home. It's a no-brainer. They are back to the top. I think one of the 2 they are playing is also at home. They are almost likely going to win that. So the question for me is when they would win the league. They have about 9 or 10 matches to go in the remainder of the season. half of them will be at home. They will most likely win the games at home like big teams do in the NPFL. Now they are top, 2 games in hand, 2 points over Rangers. I think they are winning the NPFL. It's what I've requested, what I've asked for a very long time, because I said it earlier, I don't like how Finidi George was treated after the whole Super Eagles thing, and people coming up with, he had no knowledge about the blah, blah, blah. People forgot he won the league with the Eyimba. I hope he wins it this time with Rivers United. Then we'll come back to that conversation. But again, it's a question of when they will win the league, not if. 2 points, 2 games to go, 2 games to spare. I think they will definitely win the NPFL this season.
All right, let's quickly show to our viewers. There you go, the top 4 on the league table. Rivers United with 2 games to play, leading the way with 49 points, followed by the Flying Antelopes themselves. Rangers International, Ikorodu City comes in 3rd. Nasarawa United in the 4th position. All of these teams have played 28 matches. All right, let's look at the bottom 4. This is where you don't want your team to be. Okay, let's leave that for now. Top 4, because of this game, gives us the significance of and impact of the result, showing us that Rivers United is on top. Now, also let me quickly just come to you on this Rivers United matter. It does appear, Bolu didn't say it, but I guess that's what he meant. Back in the day, if you want a Nigerian team on the continent, you will say Eyimba. But these days, it appears like a lot of football fans are beginning to tilt towards Rivers United because of their consistency. Of course, it's not easy to forget what happened to them in the last campaign. But if you want a Nigerian team and you want to look at consistency, people will say it's Rivers. Are they beginning to take the shine off Eyimba?
I don't think so. They need to do more. They need to do more to be respected, with football, you must show workings. You must show workings to the point that, Yemi, when you lose a football game, people will say, no, they did well. They pushed, they fought, they showed quality. They were unfortunate, that sort of performance is what Rivers United haven't given to us. In Nigeria, yes, they have shown consistency. And I think Rivers United are the reason why we're even saying that we don't see the quality that we expect to see in the league, because check, for instance, how terrible they were on the continent. But look at them in the league, even when they were not playing, teams were struggling to even win matches to take them off the top of the table. So yeah, the consistency is good. Puts about 40% of the work that the state government is doing for the team. But until they do something for infrastructure, until there's a proper club structure in place also, until the players feel okay. Do you know what it means for a player to be in a club and every day you go for training, you are thinking your agent calls you tomorrow and off you go? Tells you there's no future there. There's no ambition.
Sure.
So how are you giving 100% when you are distracted to just move? I think that's the major problem with our football, and we need to fix it. And the only way to fix it, I'll say it again, whether they like it or not, you need to take state governments out of it. They can sponsor in some capacity, they can have some level of ownership, but the proper branding, the business, the innovation, creating that environment that will make you thrive properly as a business, you need to take it off government. But yes, recently, it's Rivers United. That consistency is good, but you go on the continent, you need to prove it. Rangers got in the other time.
Austin, let me have the other side of the coin that you didn't have.
Yeah.
If you want the state government to probably take a back step, I think the administrators still need to change.
Absolutely. It has to be. So that's what I'm saying, that we do so much about policy.
Do you know why I
have written this?
While you were speaking, I remember the words of course, it's late now. It's going to be with the Lord. He says, look, you can't solve a problem with the same level of wisdom that caused the problem. So the guys that we have here are clueless.
Yeah.
And it's no insult. It's no insult. They're just clueless. That's the way it is. They can prove me wrong. It's very easy. Prove me wrong. Do the right things. As it is, they are clueless. we're just focused on the national team. And in God's hands we are, because we keep praying. That's what we do. All right. So, I mean, again, another quote from Albert Einstein is the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. All right, let's talk about something that is a bit heartwarming, something that has been flying under the radar, and it's good to hear. Let's go deep in Bayelsa State, a football tournament in its third season, and of course I'm talking about the Isaac Borough football tournament, 7-a-side. I mean, Bolo, I heard a lot of good things about this tournament, and it's happening in Bayelsa. It takes about 2 months to organize. You hear about technology, you see drone shots, you see a lot of things. There's a player from this tournament that has gone on to play abroad. And these are the kind of things, if all of this is replicated across the country, it gives you hope that football is in good hands.
Well, we've said it a million times. All we just need to do is get everyone involved in things like this, play your part. And the fact that this is the 3rd edition, I've hosted an event before, I know how difficult it is. Then succeed in year 1, succeed year 2, and now you are planning for year 3. And beyond football, it's not just they will pack everyone to the field to play 11-a-side. While I started playing proper academic football, I started from 5-a-side. So I know how difficult setting aside can be. The consistency is hard, the energy level is also good. Then going 1, 2, 3 editions, one of the players going beyond the competition. That's one of when you host an event and the success story is, last year one of the players that played this event has traveled abroad. It inspires many people more. If I go to this competition and also do well this 3rd edition, I may also get the opportunity to move abroad. That's one of the things why events like this is always very, very important. And the interesting thing is, many things are going right in Bayelsa. It's why we say when you put the right people in place, right things will work out well. Remember, was it last year or 2 years ago when they invited scouts from different countries to come and watch what they're doing on? So
with Barcelona.
It's just good enough for them. So I think competitions like this is what we need. And beyond competition, have good success stories. And the only way you can have success story is when you monitor these guys beyond the event. Not just, let's just have an event. After 1 or 2 months, we are done. See you next year. No, monitor them and watch the progress. The truth is, success story will always inspire others to want to do better at any event.
I hope we get to see. I mean, let me allow Austin chime in a few words as well. When I started playing football, now I look at the money people are earning, and I regret I regret giving up on football. But we were young, but we're playing 5-a-side, we're playing 7-a-side, and it was pure fun. Now you have young guys knowing that, look, there's a tournament that gives me an opportunity to show my skills to the world.
That's right, and then it's going to be televised. And if your passion is loud, you might just, get noticed, and who knows, you land in Arsenal, you can land in Chelsea, you can be in Spain, these are platforms, and all you just need to do as a young talent is to show up, and who knows. I like it, Yemi, and you said something very, very germane when you said we cannot keep having the same persons, running football, and we expect a change. When I said government needs to back off, this is what I'm talking about. When you have persons doing this sort of grassroots initiative, we must support them. We must, make the rules easy for them. The government must find a way to monitor what they are doing, and be part of the planning and organizing. It's very, very important. It's those little things that will, formulate policies that when we implement them, we'll see the good for it. And I must commend Bayelsa State, they are beginning to love it. We talk about the Prosperity Cup now. We're talking about the Isaac Borough Grassroots Football Tournament. And this is the 4th edition. So it means there's a level of consistency going on. When you keep that ecosystem busy, it's a process. You see, it goes round and round and round. It doesn't end. Yes, we might say it's just a competition, but the planning, the thinking, the initiative, the zeal to get better, when you see a talent who has done so well, who came out of this grassroots competition and is doing so and is coming back to give back to society, that's what we're talking about. That's process right there, and we must respect it here, me.
All right, let's travel abroad. When I say this, I don't mean Austin, actually. But let's have a look, Rod. Austin, stay where you are because we're coming without leaving our seats. Let's talk about the English Premier League. A lot of interesting. Now a team is being called Set Piece FC in England. Austin will tell us all about that. Let's quickly see the results from the game matches played Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm going to go across just to quickly look at the results. Aston Villa were hammered 4-1 at Villa Park by Chelsea. Brighton lost at home 1-0 to Arsenal. West Ham United defeated Fulham by a lone goal. Manchester City actually played a 2-2 draw with Nottingham Forest. Newcastle defeated Manchester United, inflicting Michael Carrick's first loss as a Manchester United manager. Leeds United lost to Sunderland by a lone goal. Liverpool lost at the Molineux Stadium 2-1 to Wolves. Everton defeated Burnley 2-0, and Bournemouth played a goalless draw with Brentford. That's the results. Bolu, quickly talk about Arsenal. Fabian Ozela had some choice words for Mikel Arteta, and the discussion has been all over the news. I know Austin is based right there, but I want to quickly ask you before we go to Austin. Do you think the criticism is justified?
Everyone who criticizes anything, that's the truth. And me, I think I have to say this. I've said it a million times. I love Pep Guardiola's old style, not his new style, the tiki-taka everything. But the only way to play football is to win. Corner kick, tiki-taka, game pressing, low block, counter-attack. Pick whatever works for you. And that's what Arsenal are doing. I remember this same Arsenal used to get criticized that they don't have the bite. They don't have the spirit to win at all costs. The spine. And suddenly they are finding a way, a niche for themselves through set pieces, and people are complaining. It just shows everyone who complain about anything. At the end of the day, if they win, we will remember how they play. We will talk about, the champions for 2025-26 season is Arsenal. Although, let me break some Arsenal fans out. In 2022-23 season, after 29 games for Arsenal, 28 for City, Arsenal were 8 points ahead. City won that league this season. The question is, and they bottle it again this time around, we'll get to find out. But I think the criticism against Arsenal, they are all unfair. They have their way of playing. They are winning. Let them win. If you think it's wrong, pick the right way to play and win your way. It's simple.
All right, Austin, Alan Pardew's comment is the one that struck me. Alan Pardew, former Newcastle United manager, coached many clubs in the English Premier League, says if Arsenal goes on to win the title this season, put an asterisk to that title. I don't know what to say to such a comment.
I know I struggled too when I saw it, and as Bolu rightly said, yes, we have criticized Arsenal when we had to, but this season, give it to them. It's not like they've played negative football 100%, but there's just a bit of change in their mentality, and we can see the character in there now. That's what the Brighton manager wasn't seeing. He wasn't seeing Arsenal's game management changing. He's saying time wasting. I'm saying, please, if you are having much of the ball, how will your opponent be wasting time? You are not having the ball. So all of these are just vague criticism, because they have seen now that Arsenal, they're focused. Yeah, me 2-3 seasons ago, Arsenal would draw that Brighton game or even lose it, But now they've seen that, okay, we cannot be doing the same things over and over again, particularly when Manchester City is playing under so much pressure. For Alan Pardew, that was so unprofessional. I don't understand what it means. I don't see where the beef is coming from. Arsenal, I think they've suffered enough. This time, they have spent so much money, and if it's the league title that the god of football will say, take, you persons have tried, they deserve it. Mikel Arteta has been talking right after those criticism from the Brighton manager. Listen.
It's a huge win. We knew how tough it was going to be. We're coming back from very difficult games with a lot of intensity, with players really going through the line in every game with difficulties, not able to train, and to come here and get the result that we got. I think it's remarkable. What a surprise. You just go back for the previous games and you will find a lot of comments like this always. I love my players, we love our players, and I love the way we compete. See, they love our players. Every time they talk about our players, I think they are the most loved ones in the country. Well, we need to, obviously, when you are in the position that we are in, obviously, they want to take that away from you. That's normal, that's a sport. we need to take that with normality, and we need to confront it in the right way.
That's it. They need to stay focused and then, continue to approach the game in the right way, because all of these are distractions. Mikel Arteta and his team need to stay focused. Before Yemi gets into Pep Guardiola, let me check what's going on between Tottenham and Crystal Palace. When I was having my introduction, I said Tottenham, they must do everything to win this game. In the 34th minute, Dominic Solanke gave Spurs the lead. It was a beautiful walked goal. I saw it. And then 4 minutes later, Mickey van der Ven was shown a red card. Problem for Tottenham. And before you know it, boom, penalty to Crystal Palace, and Ismaila Sarr has made it Tottenham 1. Crystal Palace 1. It's getting tough for Spurs,
Really getting tough. But before we talk about Pep Guardiola, Crystal Palace, Tottenham, both teams look to me like they're in problems. Oliver Glasner is going at the end of the season. The fans are currently booing him. I don't know what he has done wrong. He doesn't like the way. And Tudor, who's now on the hot seat, it looks like he's just battling relegation. And these are teams that you expect more from.
For Crystal Palace, they created their problem themselves. Sold your two best players, no replacement, nothing. The manager had to tell you, well, I think I'm going. And for Spurs, everything is wrong with that club. I'm sure many Arsenal fans are happy right now. In fact, they wouldn't mind them going down. Remember, the Europa League victory for them was just maybe to cover up their shame for last season. They finished about 17th or 16th in the Premier League. Won the Europa League, got to how can you be doing well in the Champions League and you are poor in the Premier League? It doesn't even add up. And to this game, Palace scored first. I thought it was clean goal, but all those narrow forehead offside thing. Then immediately they scored the red card penalty, and also now they are in trouble. 11-11, Palace were the better team. Now they are a man down, and also the two teams need this win. Unfortunately, it feels like Palace may be the one to edge it because they are a man down. But going by what happened in the United game, you still can beat your chest that a man down is good. But both teams need an answer, and they need it now, especially Spurs, because if Tudor doesn't help them survive, especially, he may not finish the contract he signed with them.
Yeah, of course, Tottenham very trigger happy. They know how to change managers. All right, let's move on and talk about Pep Guardiola. He is saying, and rightly so, that the title race is not over. I like the way he's been, coming to those press conferences, being calm, doesn't look ruffled. I feel he's been humbled with what happened last season, but I still believe that City are still in it. Let's listen to Pep Guardiola. We'll come back, share our thoughts as we prepare to wrap things up on the show.
But today we play, in general, good 90 minutes, more than 90 minutes. So it was a momentum, the first time you can say, okay, you cannot stop the transition. It was a long ball, you had to defend. It's not about this action or the other action. In general, when you analyze the game was well played. So we create a lot, and the team is so defensive, a really, really good team. It was dynamic, and we missed maybe look for contact more with Erling with his incredible movements. We had to look for a little bit more, but a part of that, in general, was we played for something as well. When I was young, it was who's the champion, but now the champion. It's Champions League qualification, it's Europa League, it's conference, it's relegation zone. So everyone played for many things.
All right, Pep Guardiola there. Bolu, quick one before we yield to Austin. He's still in there. Yeah, definitely mathematical. But like I said a few years ago, the point gap was about this same, with the same number of matches left, and they still ended up winning. But the big question is, are Arsenal the same thing as they were those years ago? City the same team as they were those years ago? Too many injury problems. They don't post that confidence of going on all those 10, 12 games winning streak. They will tell you mathematically it's still possible. They have a game in hand. Let's assume they win that, it drops to 4 points. Let's assume they beat Arsenal in the second leg, it drops to 1 point. But the question is, 1 point, you can run it to the end of the season and still win the title. They know that draw in midweek against Nottingham Forest means the drivers, before that man, they need to win all their games to win the league. Now, even if they win all the remaining matches, the ball is still not in their courts, it's in the courts of Arsenal. Mathematically, it's possible, but it depends on what Arsenal play in the remainder of the season. All right, also your thoughts on this one. City, they're winning, but it looks like a different City somehow.
Look, you've gone through so much, from that from that trial about points deduction, financial fair play rules, going an entire season without winning a trophy. I mean, for such a team that is so used to winning, what happened to them last season can actually destroy them. But this is Manchester City picking themselves back up. They're in they're in a cup final. They're still in the running in the Champions League. They are right here also chasing the league title. And what Pep did is classic manager mind game. It is not over. Apply pressure on Arsenal. Let them start thinking about those lines and make mistakes also, So yeah, it's left for Arsenal now to show character, to say, look, we are going to fight and fight till the end. And that's why that game at the Etihad will be one that will really determine the league title. That's the show. The match between Tottenham and Crystal Palace is about getting into halftime, and it's still Tottenham won, Crystal Palace won. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonak. But in everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, that's a quick one. Crystal Palace has scored, so it's 2-1 now. Things going from bad to worse for Tottenham. All right, it's a wrap on the show, but I want to thank Bolu Amoni for his time here today. Hopefully we'll do this again some other time.
Yeah, so it's a pleasure coming around.
All right, that's the show. We hope you enjoyed everything we've been able to bring to you with the time that we have. We'll do this again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.